What's up, everybody? Welcome to the program. It's the Cenobites back to raise some hell, and I hope you brought your safari hat for this one, because we're talking about an indie and sort of interspecies movie here. It's a movie about a raccoon made by a fuzzy monkey. We're talking about Crackcoon from 2024. I'm Dusty Lane.
I'm Jason Mitchell.
And we are the Cenobites.
Hello?
I came for you. We have such sights to show you.
It was an excellent day for an exorcism.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in.
I want to play a game.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was. This is God.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Put your brothers into the door!
But sometimes that is better.
And welcome back to Oblivion. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm excited to talk about this movie today. We've got our first true, indie movie we're talking about, that we're actually covering, front to back on the pod. What did you think about your overall first viewing of this, man?
Dude, I fucking loved it. It's kind of iffy.
What did you think about your second or third?
It just got better. I'm kind of iffy about any of these movies with, I don't know, a fake shark or a fake raccoon or,
yeah.
I wasn't feeling Cocaine Bear at all.
I didn't mind that movie. I thought it was pretty decent. I think it's a little bit sad that was Ray Liotta's last movie ever. Fuck, man, that's a weird note to go out on.
Yeah, so I was kind of iffy going in, but it didn't take long. I think it was worth it, man. I like it. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, dude, let's fucking get into it. It's first of all directed by Brad Twigg, and he was one of the writers along with Todd Martin and Gary Lee Vincent, who plays Jonathan in this movie, our park ranger buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Studios involved. We actually get a few production graphics to start this movie, which really lets you know it's an indie movie. These production graphics including Cineverse, Bloody Disgusting, Screambox, Fuzzy Monkey Films, which is the flagship on this particular production, Burning Bulb Productions, and Borderline Cinema. So once again, that's our indicator. Oh, we definitely got an indie here.
Right.
Speaking of which, not only is this an indie movie, but I feel like with some of the content here, it ventures a bit into the realm of an exploitation film. So just a heads up for everybody, there will be some language in here and innuendo that doesn't normally find its way into our episodes, and we certainly don't condone. So if that's not your thing, listener discretion advised a little bit. It's really not that bad. But there's the use of a couple of socially unacceptable words that we'll address in various capacities. Don't worry, we're not going to be dropping any N-bombs or anything like that. I'm just letting you know those things do exist in this movie. Rating TVMA, obviously, we've got some pretty raunchy shit in here. Runtime of 88 minutes. We're in and out. It's right in the sweet spot. You know?
I agree.
Setting, I didn't really find much other than a mountain community, but I know that it was filmed in mostly West Virginia and a little bit of Pennsylvania as well.
Oh, okay. Definitely looks like it.
There are some indicators throughout the movie, like I think Monongahela is mentioned at some point, which is in West Virginia. So if you're a big geography buff, you might be able to catch on to those things. But for a plot here, basically a raccoon decides to try some crack since, everyone's doing it. And
super crack, man.
He fucks around and everybody in a 10-mile radius finds out.
Yeah.
Basically. We already mentioned Gary Lee Vincent, who is a writer in addition to being on the cast, but our other cast members include, we kind of have a pair of final girls at the end of this one.
Right.
Including Finn, who's our true final girl, played by Rosaria Eraso, and Frankie, our buddy that I think he's Denny's boyfriend.
Right.
We find out pretty soon into the beginning of the movie here, but played by Justin P. Martin.
Yeah. We
mentioned Jonathan, played by Gary Lee Vincent. His wife, which that kind of blew my mind immediately, Charlotte, played by Jessa Flux, right. And we'll get into why that was. We've got our drug dealer buddy Denny, played by Chris O'Brockie. Denise, one of the college kids we run afoul of here. We've kind of got a bunch of different groups of people in this movie. So our college kids include Denise, played by Angel Bradford, Aiden, her boyfriend, played by Hunter Redfern, Carlos, played by Tim Hale, Natasha, his girlfriend, played by Morgan Milam, Sheila, played by Beth Metcalf. Alan, her boyfriend, played by Wesley Benson. We kind of encounter them just in a chance encounter out by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Our hillbilly buddies, Lenny, played by Jimmy Lee, and Jethro, good old Jethro, played by Steven Kieselewski. While we're going through the cast list, we always, of course, like to mention music by Mike Treblecock in this movie. I think, come on now. It's just the man's name, Jason, come on. I thought the music was a bright spot in this movie, along with the cinematography done by Juan Sanchez. I feel like they're kind of the true stars of the movie since we're dealing with an indie movie here. Obviously, the acting isn't going to be stellar. We're not talking about any Academy Awards here or anything.
Right.
So, bright spots I thought included, as I mentioned, cinematography and music. But let's get into the movie proper here. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We start with a really cool shot out of a cave, and that's giving those West Virginia vibes that you were talking about.
Yeah, and this is, once again, mentioning the cinematography. This is like from scene one, we're seeing the skill in that. Like it's
hell yeah,
panning back from the opening of this cave, and there's a nice smooth pan out accompanied by some beautiful uplifting music. Like what the fuck are we watching right now?
Kind of reminds me of obviously different geography, but like the opening scenes in The Shining and stuff. You get the crazy camera overview,
helicopter
and everything.
shots.
It's really cool. You don't expect to see this in an indie movie. You know what I mean? Like everything comes off. It's.
I didn't expect to see as polished filming as I did in this.
Right. And I mean, some of it is showing how new this movie is. That things that you need to make great shots are easily accessible to a lot of people now.
Right. Having a drone shot is, it's a little formulaic, but like, plug and play, press the right buttons and you're going to get a good shot.
It looks great, you know. And I guess with a name like Crackcoon, you don't really expect the movie to start out looking so fucking well.
Majestic.
You're kind of like, holy shit, wait a minute, what am I watching?
Yeah, man. We get these like really nice, like beautiful mountain range shots and everything. It's just, I want to be there. I fucking want to be there. But we don't get very far into these shots until the music changes to something a bit more dark and ominous. As we cut to a couple of tweakers beneath a bridge walking down a set of stairs talking about whether someone named Denny is going to show up. And the guy, he's wearing like a fucking flannel shirt or whatever. He says, don't worry, he'll be here. You can always count on him if there's money involved.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right on cue, Denny pulls up in a black Kia Soul. Hey, 3 cheers for the motorized toaster. He gets out and he looks like an amalgam of every drug dealer you've ever seen in one somehow.
Right.
He's got like a pink bandana, long hair and braided pigtails, gold chain. He's got the fucking Hollywood Hulk Hogan sunglasses. And interestingly enough, this is a very gay character. But the gaydar for me didn't really start going off due to the outfit. But he's way more flamboyant than you expect him to be when he starts talking.
Right.
Because the male crackhead here, who I didn't catch the name of, but he's like, hey, you got the stuff? And Denny's like, you got the money, ho? Because I don't take no American Express.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I see what this guy...
Fucking sassy.
The sassiest of pants. This guy asks him for $100 worth, whatever that gets you. And it must be a fair amount because Denny asks, damn, you guys throwing a party or are you two just planning on ODing together?
Yeah, evidently he's got some good crack.
He's got enough to be able to buy gold grills. That's pretty sweet.
Right. Yeah, I kind of laughed at this whole scene. I feel like the girl maybe isn't used to playing a drug addict in a movie.
No,
because
certainly not.
Had this been real life at all, I'm screaming, fucking cop, dude. She's a fucking cop.
Hell yeah. He says, hey, listen, I got a little something special for you tonight. Latest thing to hit town, acid mine drainage. This dude is not fucking interested. He says, oh, no, thank you. I just like regular drugs, please.
Regular crack, please.
And Denny goes, well, no, hey, don't worry about it. It's still crack, but it's just supercharged crack. Denny's got a little bit of a foghorn leghorn accent going on. I say, boy, hear me out here. You're going to want to hear this. It's cracktastic.
There is a whole lot of that going on through the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which almost made me wonder, like, where's everybody from?
Right.
Maybe
Lenny later has a little bit of it.
Like maybe the southern accent wasn't so intentional, and it just kind of...
Or there wasn't, like, a specific dialect they were going for.
Right.
Just as long as you try to do a southern accent as best you can.
Right.
But no, Denny says, this shit's going to blow your minds and your dicks. The girl looks at him like, what the fuck? And the other guy says he can smell bullshit, but he asks him about it anyway. He describes it as orange shit, whatever that means. And Denny says he's got a discounted rate today, same price, but new shit. And the crackhead guy says, all right, but if this doesn't do the trick, you lost our business.
Oh, yeah.
They make the exchange, and the two crackheads start making fun of, it looks like a little orange candy. It's magically delicious.
Right. Yeah, orange crack.
Right. Couple close-ups on Denny's grill, and then we cut to a rundown shack that these two are about to get high in. Inside this house, the chick can barely contain herself, rocking back and forth. She's like, hey, you're going to share this with me, right? And the dude's like, yeah, totally. I just got to try it first. And he takes a hit and immediately says it's amazing. He keeps chiefing on it for a minute, and the girl's like, all right, man, my turn. Like, you said you were going to fucking share.
Right.
And there's a pretty cool visual effect as he takes another hit, and then his eyes turn orange. What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
That's not normal.
Yeah, dude, I love this. He's, I guess, on a drug-induced, I don't know.
Stupor?
He goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Orange shit starts coming out of his mouth.
He becomes the orange shit. It's Mr. Leahy. I am the liquor.
Yeah, he ends up breaking this crack pipe and stabbing her in the fucking neck.
Yeah, man, this chick, like, she's in the middle of, like, being impatient with him, saying, like, all right, man, that's enough, it's my turn. And he fucking turns to her, stabs her in the neck with the bowl, and, there's gratuitous fake blood shoots everywhere, and she falls down dead. I don't think she really sells it very well. There's some much better examples of a death rattle later in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But damn, she sure didn't last long.
They're doing great with... I guess I just didn't expect so much. He stabs her in the neck, and you can tell that there's like a fountain hooked up to where she got stabbed.
It's like Tom Savini with the Friday the 13th blowing through the fucking tube.
Right. Yeah, like the blood spray and stuff in these scenes. And that's a thing where it's, you're kind of like, oh, maybe she didn't sell it well, but the effects happening, you almost don't catch her face and her acting. It gets pushed out.
You're distracted by that as opposed to what she's doing.
Right. Yeah. And
I guess I just meant like when she drops down and she kind of like shakes a little bit. It was a little bit low energy for me. She could have put a little more into it. Just in my personal opinion, and that doesn't mean shit. So.
No, I mean, it's just a lot of it's getting buried by the crazy amounts of blood that are spraying and the shots that they're using here to, the blood spray's hitting her. It's fucking great, dude. It's so good.
This dude stands over her and orange goop drips down out of his mouth onto her. And suddenly we've got another guy yelling off screen, hey, Dutch, you got any of that crack left?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he sees the dead girl on the floor, yells, oh, fuck. And it looks like he's about to be attacked too. But that's when we cut to our credit sequence instead. We got some rockin' fucking music kicking in, and we get a nice little montage of our cast and crew. I sure do love opening credits, dude. And these in particular set a really fun tone.
Oh, dude, it's like borderline some like grindhouse feeling. These like really weird quick cuts, almost like a 70s feel, but at the same time, really fucking superhero-ish. Like, I'm watching a fucking way sweeter version of a Marvel movie with these cuts. I'm getting like comic book feel strip.
If Marvel movies were made for adults.
Yeah. Fuck Marvel.
We do, within this montage, get a couple of shots of the titular Raccoon. And I gotta tell you, it's not looking great for me, man.
Oh, dude.
We're in for some serious cheese.
I felt the opposite. I kind of seen it and it felt kind of funny, but I'm almost like, oh shit, now we're going to see what's actually coming.
Right.
I loved cheese that was happening here. They played it so fucking good.
Yeah, I'm not into it, but like I can look at it and be like, oh shit.
Right.
This is what we're doing, huh? Okay. Credits completed. We get back to the movie and we're in a morgue with that same crackhead girl's corpse and two coroners from the looks of things, one of which is Lewis Smith, who says, for the chump change this county is paying me, I ought to give up doing autopsies altogether. Look, man, I feel like you ought to give up doing everything altogether. You're 96 years old, man. You did it. You're done.
Yeah, essentially, he's like running and he owns a funeral parlor upstairs.
Yeah.
He's also double duty and taking care of the bodies, which... small practice, I guess.
Well, he says he's got that to run upstairs, and the other guy chimes in, and he's like, well, you'd still be getting the same clientele. And Lewis argues, well, sure, I might be getting the same ones, but all I'd have to do is make them look pretty, not saw off the top of their fucking skulls.
Right.
He doesn't like cutting into them, is the thing.
So he's embalming and shit.
Yeah, in this capacity, he's like a coroner fucking doing the autopsy and fucking the whole bit.
Right.
But he looks down at the corpse, and he says, this one really freaks me out, because it looks like someone stuffed tiny little oranges in her eyes.
Yeah.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
That's not what it looked like at all.
No.
But okay.
But this must get to the other guy a little bit, because he kind of has a breakdown for a second thinking about how violent the kill was. He said the guy kept beating her after she was already dead and stabbing her with the crack pipe. And Lewis has to calm him back down. I think this guy might be in the wrong line of work too.
Right.
So Lewis says, all right, look, what we're looking at here is the effects of a designer street drug, possibly a combination of crack, cocaine, and bath salts. And we all know what those do.
Oh, sick, dude.
He goes, not only do they clean out your bowels, it also sucks the brain right out of your head. Speaking of which, the other guy says it reminds him of the guy in Miami that ate his girlfriend's face off. We all know that story, right?
I was going to say, yeah, we start getting some typical Florida bath salt stories, you know, from
Florida man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lewis says
all the bath salt stories are always from Florida.
Right. Why is that? It's so fucking weird. Lewis says, oh yeah, totally. I followed that case seriously, you know, because it was so weird. All right. Cool.
I guess. Well, anyways, what's for lunch?
Yeah. The other guy says, well, the cops better get a handle on it or we'll be up to our eyeballs in sloppy joes. I know you kids like them extra sloppy.
I knew that was coming.
Lewis says the guys at the lab say that there could be a couple of different effects from this. Maybe they'll go crazy. Maybe they'll just flat out die. No way to really know what happens until it happens, you know?
Right.
And we get more of that morbid morgue humor, what you were just talking about. Like, after talking about all this nasty shit, the second guy here says, hey, how about some lunch? I was thinking about some orange chicken, but
right.
You know what I mean?
No thanks.
Yeah, come on, dude. And he asks Lewis, too, if he thinks this girl looks like that one waitress. And Lewis says, oh, yeah, but she ain't as lively.
Yeah, right. Old man's got a sense of humor.
So this movie's turning out to be one big riff-off, just slinging them one-liners from the hip.
Right.
We cut to the home of apparently the sheriff or a park ranger, perhaps. His name is Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
Big, beautiful home. He's inside making himself some breakfast when I was assuming his daughter, Charlotte, walks in.
Right.
And she says, ew, you know I can't eat first thing in the morning. I feel that. I usually can't either. How about you?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same way.
I need to keep it light in the morning.
Caffeine in the morning.
Right. Well, he says, speaking of which, he goes, I made coffee too.
Right.
She's like, all right, I can do coffee. He says he thought she would be sleeping in with it being spring break and all. Again, making me think this is his daughter in college on spring break.
Oh, yeah.
She says, oh, you know me, I always get up no matter what. What? Yeah, me too. It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
I always get up. No matter what I do,
sometimes.
I always happen to wake up.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah, this was like a really weird situation where, like you said, you couldn't tell if it was his wife or his daughter, and then they indicated spring break.
I was leaning hard on daughter, dude.
Right.
She looks like she's half his age.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not trying to talk shit or anything. I'm a portly fellow myself, but also half his weight, and she's super hot where he's a little bit doofy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I did not fucking expect wife.
Almost weird casting, like they might be similar in age, but they don't look similar in age.
Other than the whole my wife is cheating on me thing, I feel like it would have worked just as well if it was his daughter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe we might have been a little bit more emotionally connected.
Right.
If it was, you know, his offspring that he has to care about no matter what. And he's, you know, got to protect her from this fucking crackhead raccoon. Anyway, speaking of animals, we get the info that she grew up on a farm. I wonder if that'll come into play later. Spoilers, it won't. I guess she plans to do, she says she plans to grade some papers and do a little cleaning. So at this point, I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. She's a teacher. Stay with me on this one. The way she's dressed and her general demeanor in this, and it's all just the character. She's a fucking smoke show, dude. And you know she would end up being one of those teachers that gets fired for fucking her students.
Is that the vibe you got?
That's the picture you see.
Right.
On every one of those articles. But he tells her she should do something fun for herself for a change, and she decides, oh, well, I could do some painting.
God, I love when this comes full circle.
Dude,
later,
me
but
too.
I don't want to talk about it yet.
Yeah, don't spoil it yet, but it's so fucking great. Okay. She asks what Jonathan's plan is for the day, and he's like, oh, just patrolling the back mountain. Holy fucking shit, dude. That's my dream job. Just keeping the peace in a beautiful, tranquil setting like that. Nothing but myself and the nature around me. Hanging out with chipmunks and shit. Where do I sign?
I mean, pretty good, but he has a bad day.
He has a very bad day.
So
yeah, apparently it won't be as serene as I hoped it would, because of course there are a bunch of what? You want to take this one, Tucker?
College kids! Yeah.
No mountain creature feature slasher would be complete without woods, drugs, and college kids.
Fucking Damn college kids.
Charlotte says it seems like yesterday that we were those college kids. So this was the moment where I was like, Jesus Christ, these two were married.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, it was hard. But he asks her if she's sure she's happy. Apparently, she cheated on him with some guy named Liam before. And to stay on theme, she throws out, oh, forget about that. I haven't seen Liam in a coon's age.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, guys.
Wow.
She insists he drop it. She asks, how many times do I have to apologize? That kind of thing. And we don't really resolve this by the end of the conversation. She just leaves it at, you can believe whatever you want to. Yeah, this is a fucking doomed relationship.
Right.
Jonathan goes to leave. She tells him to be careful. And when he says nothing ever happens anyway, she goes, oh, don't speak too soon. You remember what happened last time you said that? Oh, man, was that the cocaine bear incident?
Go to bed.
This fucking mountain's cursed. We got a cocaine bear one year. We got a goddamn Crackcoon the next.
What's next, man?
No, he explains what the situation was. Apparently, some guy tried to shoot a lady named Wanda Claggett.
She looked like Bigfoot.
Because he thought she was the damn Sasquatch. And he goes, well, she is a big, hairy woman. I totally get it. Damn, dog, why you got to put her on blast like that? Poor Wanda. They have the weirdest I love you exchange as he leaves. We cut to a view of a nice little overpass with some more drug-addled people hanging out at the base of. And a guy in another flannel vest asks the girl he's with if she's got fleas because she won't stop scratching. She says, fuck you, Otis, I ain't no dog. And we get a quick mention that his mom attempted to abort her pregnancy with him. Damn. I guess the knowledge of that might make you turn to drugs.
You say something about, she's like, yeah, oh yeah, you're lucky I grabbed the hanger out of her hand.
Yeah, he says he was able to grab the coat hanger right out of her hand just in time. This girl's southern accent is a little overdone here, I think. She goes, where the hell is he? He said he'd be right back. He better not have run off with my money. I'll kill him.
Right.
And just then, some douchebag named Chaz struts up. He looks about as cool as Denny, who we met earlier. This guy walks up and says, no joke, just conversationally, what's up, my N-words? Did I mention this dude is white? We did not need this.
White and cornrows, yeah.
We didn't need that in this delightful little film about a drug-addicted killer raccoon. I'm sorry. Take two.
Yeah, I agree.
we just don't need to fucking say it, guys, all right?
Little unnecessary.
It's always unnecessary. There's never a fucking moment where it's necessary.
I agree.
So it turns out Chaz had to track Denny down to get this shit. And Otis gives a super emphatic, oh yeah, he's a real piece of shit. And Chaz says, hey, don't you talk ill of him. He's good people.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think I'm going to be gauging much by your judgment there, Jugga-bro.
I don't know, dude. Denny's got the good crack. He's good peeps.
Well, he tosses him a bag, and Otis is immediately like, what the fuck is this shit? Cheetos?
Right.
And he says, oh, come on. It's supposed to be good shit. He fires it up immediately, takes a big old hit, and starts coughing up a lung. But he says, oh, man. After he gets done coughing, he's like, I've never felt better. This shit rules. And he hands the pipe over to Betty Sue, apparently is her name. She hits it. She doesn't give a shit what it looks like.
Right.
She says, I'll try anything once. And Chaz has a zinger here. He goes, that's what John Belushi and Amy Winehouse used to say.
Yeah. Turned out great for him, didn't it?
Right. I miss both of them. She coughs her ass off after hitting this thing and says, damn, am I fucked to the up? And after seeing what a great time Otis and Betty Sue are having, Chaz decides to hit it too. All right, this is interesting. This is like the Ipecac game where you drink it and you wait to see who throws up first. I wonder like which one of these people is going to go fucking crazy first, you know? But I spoke too soon. He sees them both still coughing and decides to skip it.
Yeah, smart man.
I mean, that just means you get to be the next victim.
Yeah, no shit. Dude, his eyes go orange.
Yeah, dude, Otis is, yeah.
Yeah, and we get kind of the same thing from earlier, stabbed with the crack pipe.
The setup for this, though, he leans back in his chair, and Chaz gets all concerned, like, hey, motherfucker, I'm not giving you mouth-to-mouth, wake up. And when he leans forward to see what his deal is, Otis sits up with his eyes glazed over orange, and he stabs a fucking pipe into Chaz's eye.
Right.
And it pops out and just hangs there. We have a hell of a record going with eye trauma and Cinebites episodes.
Right. It's never ending, man.
I don't know how it keeps fucking cropping up. But yeah, there's more blood shooting all over the place. Otis just laughs and takes another hit like nothing fucking happened. He thought that was fucking funny.
Oh, well,
little prank he played on his buddy. Just let me stab your eye out real quick.
The effects here, again, are fucking great, man.
Yeah.
Like the blood squirts out of the fucking
It's crazy
crack
and
pipe.
fake as fucking over the top, but it's so much fun.
It's fantastic. I love it.
So apparently Betty Sue, on the other hand, is one of the people that just flat out die, as Lewis put it, because we cut to her and she's just fucking convulsing on the ground. And she tries to get up and attack Otis, but he just throws her back down and smashes her head with a big-ass rock.
Yeah, dude. Fucking badass. And
I'm just upset that we didn't see it.
Well, I almost thought that that's what was good about this, is so far what we've seen has been a lot of blood squirt, a lot of effects actually happening, and they kind of played with the camera here, lifted up the rock, showed him rearing back.
I can appreciate it.
Showed her feet kind of twitch, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which
the death rattles, as I mentioned, get steadily better in this movie, you'll see, as the further we go on. But I don't know. We're in such a raunchy, visually striking movie that I didn't see any reason not to. I would have loved to see a head explode.
I guess I'm kind of glad that they didn't take the melon route, because it would have been a watermelon or something. You know what I mean?
I'm still puzzling over how they did it in A Violent Nature, because that shot never cuts.
Right.
Like, he's just crawling away. He's still talking and flailing his arms around and everything. The shot doesn't fucking cut. And then Johnny just fucking smashes that big rock down onto him, and shit just fucking sprays.
Just more money.
I don't know how they did it, but it was so fucking great.
Money. That's how they do everything.
Right. We cut to another house where all the college kids are arriving at their spring break getaway destination, apparently.
Sick Dodge Stealth sitting here. Fucking racing stripes.
Now there's a name I've not heard in a long, long time. One of the kids says, smell that fresh mountain air. Isn't that nice? And another guy says, yes. And then he farts.
Rude.
We have another fucking Howard here we're dealing with in Carlos. Remember Howard from My Bloody Valentine?
Mm-hmm.
Just the fucking friend you love to hate and hate to love. So the long-haired fella standing here says, I hope you brought some extra trousers. First of all, who the fuck calls him that? Second of all, he goes, I'm pretty sure he shit himself. And Farty McGee here says, nope, I'm all good. No lumps. Ew, dude. Yeah. When does this guy die?
I said, this dude's fucking terrible. I don't like his lines. I don't like his delivery. He's just playing that guy that's supposed to annoy you, though.
I think that's the character. I don't want to besmirch his performance, because I think that's part of what encapsulates his delivery here.
Right.
But, I mean, it's intentionally bad, and he does bad really good, apparently, because it's like this fucking douchebag.
Right. Absolutely.
So he says he brought the beer and checks with the other guy, the long-haired guy, to see if he brought the weed. And he goes, oh, shit, I knew I forgot something. And he goes, well, not to worry. Denny's supposed to be here around sometime today or tomorrow to hook them up.
Right.
And Aiden goes, isn't he the fruity dope guy? And Carlos is like, oh, that would be Denny. Yeah, man, we got all the context that he's the dope guy. Why'd you have to throw in the fruity part?
The first time I watched this, I was thinking the fruity weed guy. Like, he's got some fruity ass weed.
Oh.
No, it's
because
fruity
he's
weed guy.
Quote unquote fruity.
Yeah.
No, sorry, guys. Apparently, Denny creeps out Denise, so Aiden doesn't want him anywhere near her. But he does have the best weed in the tri-state area, apparently. So
yeah, it's all good.
The farty guy, Carlos, is trying way too hard to be cool with literally everything he says.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, every single person in this movie has annoyed me in some way already. But this dude is on another level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Just the whole cool guy, all right, everything has to come out of my mouth extra cool.
Yeah.
Fucking douche. Yeah. But he's a little sad, though. He goes, man, this might be the last time for a long time we do this. Talking about, being up in the mountains together, having a vacation, whatever. And Aiden goes, hey, man, don't worry about it. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be fucking. And hey, maybe even some anal. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a little redundant? Doesn't that fall under the fuck category?
I mean, I don't know if you would be talking with your bro about, hey, maybe some anal this weekend.
Oh, he didn't mean with him.
or did he?
Or did he?
You don't know.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't think I would say, hey, Dusty, maybe some anal this weekend, and we have a chest bump.
Probably not. But I mean, they're all with their chicks,
Yeah, I don't. What the fuck ever.
They do a super cool chest bump to put an exclamation point on this conversation, the way nobody does. And then they grab their chest because they hurt their little boobies. Then we get a nice montage of just the area they're in. Maybe my favorite part of the movie. It's just fucking gorgeous everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We got woods, we got streams, we got the whole kit and caboodle. And then, in the middle of all this majesty, we cut to a shot of a furry little woodland beast with his back to the camera, chattering up a storm and swishing his tail around. The stop motion animation on this thing is pretty wild in this first shot. And then the second, it kind of looks like a shitty puppet and part dude in a suit. maybe. I'm not really sure, but it is. I mean, it's a raccoon. Question mark.
It's fucking sick, man.
We cut to a shot of Denny driving a super cool Kia Soul past a dead possum in the road. I wonder if that little dude appreciates in the afterlife that he was immortalized post-mortem in film.
Oh, yeah, I wonder.
Denny's got someone in the car with him begging him to turn his music down a couple of times, and he does the whole, huh? What? And then he turns it down, and the guy yells one more time, and Denny goes, hey, quit fucking yelling, I'm not deaf.
Yeah, I got some metal blast in here,
If Denny is ghetto fabulous, this guy is more yuppie, preppy style of effeminate male.
Oh, yeah, Frankie.
Yeah. And he goes, oh my God, slow down. Well, yeah, you called him Frankie. I didn't know his fucking name in this movie until way too late.
Right.
Which is one complaint I do have. I feel like they could have taken a little more care in introducing their characters. So you didn't have to wonder whose people fucking names are. Because I have way too late in these notes, the other guy says. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah. No, that was kind of a thing too. Yeah, towards the end of the movie, we start getting everybody's names and it's...
Right.
Fuck, it's too late, dude.
But Frankie says, oh my God, slow down. Where are you going so fast, speed racer?
Dude, his one-liners.
Yeah.
He's calling everybody something.
Cannot be
awesome.
stopped.
Right.
Oh my God. But trust me, dude, I have that same car. It goes 0 to 60 in 2 minutes flat. You don't have to worry. But yeah, he's trying to get Denny to slow down. Frankie's trying to get Denny to slow down. He goes, the last thing we need is to be pulled over with all these drugs, man.
Yeah, fuck.
And Denny goes, yeah. Stop being a little bitch. And the other dude slaps him. We get a nice overhead shot and see that they got the fuzz on their tail. That must be Jonathan.
Yeah, shit.
Or at least that's what I assumed before.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell this story as I perceived it in real time.
Right.
But Frankie asks Denny, he's like, what are you planning to do with all this pot, Cheech? He goes, don't worry about it. I called my high school buddy Billy. And Frankie goes, did you fuck him? And Denny's like,
yes.
No, dude, no. He goes, no. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
But the point is, he's got some friends staying up here that need the hookup, but they don't want crack. And the other guy chimes in and says, hey, that reminds me. A good customer of mine from the county morgue says they've brought in a couple weird looking stiffs lately that had these bright orange eyes. Wait, like, why did his buddy saying no to crack remind you of that, first of all?
Yeah. What? he already knows what's happening, huh?
Well, yeah, because they think it has to do with the new drug. Sounds like Denny's playing both sides on this one,
right?
But suddenly a brown furry blur shoots across the road in front of them and causes Denny to swerve a bit, which of course prompts the cops behind him to pull him over.
Right.
So Frankie goes, oh no, I can't go to jail. I'm too cute.
Right.
And he tells Denny to keep driving. He's got a plan to ditch the drugs. And he lays it all out in fine detail. And he has time to, because this is suddenly the slowest police pursuit of all time. He tells Denny to turn into the camp pull-off, and the cops won't see him for a few seconds. He'll ditch the drugs, and Bob's your uncle. They'll come back for him later.
That would never, ever fucking work.
No, dude. Especially considering they have a fucking huge bag.
It's a giant grocery bag full of crack.
Yeah, dude.
But, hey, everything goes to plan.
Yeah,
they
Denny...
ditch shit out the window.
Well, Denny agrees. He's like, all right, we might be okay. We're far enough away they might not be suspicious. I mean, acting in general in this is subpar, but there are a few gems in here that could use some work, this being one of them. So we're cruising along at a solid 15 miles per hour. And this dude chucks this fucking garbage bag full of drugs out the window, and it falls over an embankment. And Denny's still swerving all over the road for some reason, but finally he pulls over. Surprise, surprise, 2 cops get out of this SUV, and neither of them are Jonathan, much to my surprise. So I guess he must be a park ranger then, if he's not a cop.
Right.
Denny gives this guy a real southern gentleman's, what seems to be the problem, officer?
Officer.
And the cop asks why he was swerving around, and he says, well, I don't smell alcohol. I'm not going to give you a breathalyzer. But Denny explains about the raccoon, and the other cop chimes in. He goes, all right, that does happen a fair bit in these parts. But what about the first time you lost control of your car? What, another raccoon?
Yeah,
and he's all suspicious of him,
Wild-ass fucking raccoons.
This cop is kind of stumbling through these lines, poor guy. He's trying so hard to be tough.
Yeah, Frankie's got the idea, though, hey, we should just spin it on these guys. We're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they let him know that they just got married and they are on their honeymoon, you know?
And one cop gets all excited about that, and he's like, oh, congratulations.
Right.
And the other cop is like, the fuck you mean you just got married? Boys can't marry other boys. I thought America was great again.
He says something about night at Frankie's Fudge Factory. Get the hell out of here already.
Yeah, Frankie shows the cop his ring, and he's like, oh my God, is this K Jewelers? Frankie says, well, that's why we were speeding. We were just so excited to get to our hotel room to consummate the wedding. And the cop by the driver's door looks like he's about to lose his lunch. Denny goes, oh, the things I'm going to do to you. And Frankie's fucking, like what? That's where he says the Frankie's Fudge Factory thing. And then, yeah, MAGA cop here says, all right, enough already. And he lets him go. The cop on the passenger side says, you two enjoy your evening. Send me some pictures.
Oh, shit.
We cut in that moment to this horrendous raccoon puppet as it happens upon this discarded fucking Santa sack of drugs.
Yeah, hell yeah. Smart raccoon.
We don't see anything happen with that just yet. Back to Denny and Mrs. Denny. They come up with a plan to go back for the junk, right? But back to Rico for a second. That's what I'm going to call him, Rico the raccoon. He gets to the fucking duffel bag. I thought he was humping it for a half a second, but he actually grabs the zipper in his teeth and opens it. Super smart raccoon.
Oh, yeah.
He stuffs his face down into it, and the rest, as they say, is history. But
He's got the orange crack, man.
The best part, dude, is him coming back up out of the bag and holding his little sandwich baggie full of fucking orange slices in his mouth and scurrying off. Oh, my God. Amazing.
Love him.
Back to the college kids hanging out in their home away from home, and the dudes are singing a song about our final girl, Finn, calling her a goody two-shoes. She doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Well, yeah, that's why you're all fucking dead and she's not.
Well, not yet, but yeah. Absolutely.
You know what this is. She says her dad had a problem with drinking and she doesn't want to end up like him, and we get a little bit more about that story later. But fucking Carlos tells this story about her dad having apparently waltzed into a White Castle once wearing nothing but his underwear. And Carlos says he had a big fucking shit stain in his underwear and one nut hanging out the front. Fucking, I don't know. Sounds like a fun guy.
Partying.
And apparently he also pulled his money out from, quote, the old prison wallet.
Yeah. Ew.
All right. I think we can move on.
Right.
Finn has certainly had enough. She gets up and goes for a walk. After she leaves, Aiden suggests maybe she should have a few drinks to loosen up. But Carlos says, I don't know, man. What if she ends up at White Castle in her underwear like her old man?
Yeah. Dick.
And Denise tells them both to fuck off. She gets up to grab a drink, and Aiden sticks his foot up on the couch with a big-ass hole in his sock and asks her to grab him one too, and she goes, fuck off, man. Get it yourself. And Carlos interjects here with, I wouldn't mind seeing Finn in her underwear. And his girlfriend Natasha gets pissed immediately. But he just keeps at it. He's like, have you seen the dumper on that girl? I'd eat her shitter like an apple fritter and then fuck her brains out. Jesus, man. Aiden agrees, but Natasha says, well, hey, why don't we go do that instead? And Carlos immediately stands up and speaks with an English accent for some reason. And he tells Aiden, good night, good evening, and good luck.
Yeah. Time to go, man.
Aiden calls out for Denise, but no such luck. Back to Denny and Frankie. They decide it's been long enough and they can go score the smack back, right? We cut to Finn walking through this beautiful little wood-lined meadow. I would have loved to have worked on this movie just for the weather, man. It looks absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Denny and his friend are also walking, and Frankie is freaking out about the bugs. Denny says, calm your clit, it ain't that bad. Frankie goes, well, excuse me, Malibu's most wanted. He absolutely encapsulates that character, for sure. He grabs Denny's chin, and Denny says, don't touch me, homo. This is one of those moments where
playful.
He's swinging for the fucking fences. The claws are out. This is, the interaction that you get between characters like this. I understand it.
Right.
Obviously, don't call people a homo. But if you are one, you can get away with calling another one. Frankie goes, but you love my touches. And they finally find the bag, and Denny immediately notices the orange sherbet is gone.
Oh, shit.
And we get a quick POV of Rico staring at him from the foliage.
Dude, I love this. The raccoon's point of view, and it's kind of tinted orange.
It's like
fucking high.
Terminator vision a little bit.
Right.
And they made an interesting choice to put an effect on the audio right here, too, because I'm not sure if it's because of raccoon vision or it's drug vision. Either way, cool idea. There's a bit of a delay on it.
Right. Yeah, dude, the bush starts to shake, Yeah. Fucking Frankie jumps into Denny's arms.
Denny says, we're in trouble, man. The shit isn't in here. Frankie says, well, what the fuck do you mean? And Denny turns the bag upside down and says, and excuse me for this, but I did get a little chuckle out of, it's an empty bag, fag.
Yeah.
Again. Normally not language to condone whatsoever, but
Right.
like, again, I feel like it's a joke that lands, and I feel like part of the reason that it lands is because it's a very clearly gay character saying it to another very clearly gay character, and it does lend a bit of gravitas to, you know, the authenticity of it.
Right.
That being said, that does not apply for the N-word earlier, though. That's still major points off, especially being said by a white character to other white characters.
Right.
Come on, dude. Anyway, back to the movie. They search around for the Orange Julius here for a second, and then hear some chattering coming from a nearby bush. And like you said, Frankie jumps into Denny's arms. He thinks it's a bear, and Denny's like, no, not a chance. The raccoon pops out, and the drug bag falls from his mouth as Frankie jumps into Denny's arms there. And Denny says, well, damn, looks like I found where all the shit went.
Dude, he's brave as shit. He goes right for it, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? It's fine. It's a wild animal. We got our dope.
Yeah.
I'm just going to grab it real quick.
Right. There's a close-up of the raccoon that shows, like you said, his eyes are now orange, and he leaps out of the bush, latches right onto Denny's dick. Frankie says, oh, stop it. He doesn't like when you use your teeth.
Yeah, right.
And Denny's just screaming, get off my dick! And the raccoon crawls up to Denny's neck, and by that I mean Denny lifts this puppet up to his neck and pretends it's moving. And yeah, Rico fucking tears into his neck, and he is no more. Frankie goes, oh, my sweet Denny, you would have wanted me to save myself, and he fucking runs off. The raccoon looks kind of cool now that he's covered in blood.
Dude, I just love this whole scene. There's fucking guts. There's gore. There's blood spray. The POV, as we go back to the raccoon, takes off after Frankie here, and he does this scream. Woo!
Yeah, he hauls ass running out of there with the most dramatic, flamboyant, like, the running here. It's like Jack Sparrow cranked up to 11.
Right.
And then we cut to a nice little shot of a bunny nibbling on some berries from a branch. The cinematographer must have had a blast getting the fucking B-roll on this movie, dude. We're back with Finn for a second. She's roaming around taking some nature pictures. She's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful up here and peaceful and quiet. And then boom, random gunshot out of nowhere.
Right.
Suddenly, these two super hicks stumble down a trail, just firing their shotguns into trees. And the one dude says, take that, you cocksucking squirrels. You ain't gonna be stealing my nuts ever again.
Felt that. Fuck the squirrels, man.
Right? I feel like this could be another teachable moment here. We should also, speaking of the words we were talking about before, we should also probably stop saying cocksucking as a derogatory adjective. It's just another homophobic slur when you get right down to it. Like, as if sucking cock is bad. You know what I mean? Like, has that ever been anything but a pleasurable experience, barring people being forced to do it? I think not. Cocksucking is a beautiful thing.
I guess you're right. Yes.
But this also felt very much like, you dang woodchucks, stop chucking my wood.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So one hick says to another, damn, man, you're a terrible shot. And the ginger hick here says, oh, that was just a warning shot. I want to get him good and scared before I blow him away. Now, what the fuck would be the point of that, you sick son of a bitch?
Okay.
He goes, what are you bitching about? You haven't gotten any either. And hick number 2, whose name is Jethro, I guess, because of course it is. He says, well, I'm going after bigger game anyway. And he pulls out a bear trap. Ooh.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And ginger hick Lenny is his name. He says, there ain't any bears around these parts unless you're talking about your mama. She's kind of a big old fat hairy broad. Oh shit, is his mom Wanda?
Damn.
That would be hilarious, actually. Because her last name was Claggett. That would make him Jethro Claggett. Any Beverly Hillbillies fans out there?
What the fuck? So there was some thought into this.
Yeah. So Lenny goes, oh, maybe your mama was hungry, wandering around these here woods stealing picnic baskets.
Oh shit, dude, burn.
Jethro fires back, hey, at least my mom ain't a big old whore, selling her snatch for cigarettes. Jesus, man. Everyone is just going for the fucking throat on everything in this movie. Just then, Frankie runs up looking for help. He goes, oh, it just killed Denny and now it's coming after me. The one guy goes, what is Nancy boy? A naked lady? I bet you're scared to death of that.
Yeah, the fucking dialogue here is so fucking ridiculous, man.
But Frankie gets him back. He goes, no, man, it's a raccoon, you fucking troglodytes. A killer raccoon. Just as these rednecks are making fun of him for being scared of a raccoon, Old Rico pops up from behind some shrubbery here, and Frankie tries to get Lenny to shoot it, but he doesn't. Frankie runs off calling him pig fuckers.
Right.
Jethro goes, "What in the name of Dolly Parton's big old sweet titties was that?" And Lenny fires back. Right. Lenny fires back with, "I don't know, them gays is weird." Right, Lenny. Them gays is weird, ain't they? So just then the raccoon lunges at Jethro and latches onto his face. Lenny's trying to get a clean shot. Terrible idea, because of course he accidentally blows Jethro's fucking head off.
Right, dude.
And doesn't touch the raccoon.
Huge explosion. That's fucking awesome.
But dude, best line of the movie, as soon as he blows his head off, he goes, "Well, shit." And then Rico cleans house, man. He jumps up on Lenny and causes him to fall over, and his head goes right into the fucking bear trap.
Yeah, damn.
And Lenny's dying words are, "I told him there ain't no dang bears out here."
Right.
We get raccoon vision again as he scurries away, and then we cut to the ranger station. Jonathan's hanging out with someone named Marla. It's like his receptionist or something.
Yeah,
She walks
sweet,
up.
Dude.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. Marla walks up to tell him that somebody named Patty Emmons called. And he goes, "What you want this time? Another UFO or a leprechaun?"
Crazy Patty calls the fucking cops all the time.
Right. She goes, "Nope, nothing like that. She's just worried about Jethro and Lenny. They said they'd be back by 12. Jonathan's like, "Dude, it's only 12:30. Tell her to shut the fuck up."
Right.
Marla says, "Well, she's still worried. So you want to go check on him?" He's like, "Not fucking really." But he goes anyway.
Yeah, he says he's probably out drinking to get away from her.
Yeah. We cut to yet another group of people out in the woods. We have like 6 or 7 Jesus freaks out here, and they're all trying to exorcise the evil from this dude that says, "Hey man, I just like heavy metal music."
Right.
Everybody likes heavy metal music. Jesus likes heavy metal music. Jesus likes Ozzy Osbourne. Jesus likes Ronnie James Dio. And the leader of the little fucking cult here goes, "Ronnie James Dio was not a holy diver. He rolled around in Satan's feces." And the other dude's like, "Yeah, I can't go with you on that, man. That's just nutty."
Yeah, you're losing me.
He goes, "Lord, I implore you to cast out the rock and roller from his sola."
Yeah. Damn.
Meanwhile, we get a shot of the raccoon just sitting on a branch, just kicking it. He's getting all revved up again. And suddenly a severed head comes rolling into frame. And the fucking raccoon attacks once again, latches onto yet another neck. The guy being attacked is yelling, "Jesus, I'm sorry," as everyone else gets sprayed with fucking blood.
You don't like that. Yeah, so he just pops up and a severed head comes rolling into frame.
Dude, like, was he dragging that behind him for however many miles? So as this bald guy dies, he gives a Bible quote, and he goes, "Why have you forsaken me, Lord?" And the raccoon jumps from one neck to another here, and this younger girl starts to go down, and her mom yells, "She's my sweet little lamb!"
Oh, yeah.
And rock and roller guy goes, "Ronnie James Dio forever," right before he checks out. Dude, this raccoon's fucking racking up the kills, man. At least 3 more in this scene.
Oh, hell yeah. I said something about trying to keep track of how many bodies were hitting the ground, but it just got out of control. Blood sprays again. Holy shit. Intestines this time.
I think
holy shit.
Ballpark of 10 to 15, I guess.
Yeah, dude, everybody's going down. The leader here of this little church group kind of takes off.
Well, he gets stopped shortly after by another member of the congregation, and he goes, "It's Armageddon. A furry monkey devil's killing all our flock."
A fuzzy monkey, maybe?
Hey, right. The leader just pushes him toward the raccoon and keeps running. So looks like everybody except the leader gets got here. And as Riley dies, that was a guy that just ran up. He pantomimes finishing the game of patty cake that he was playing when we first saw him. Mm-hmm. Like without a face. His arms are just moving.
Yeah, he's fucked. He's dead.
Back to Finn on her little personal journey. She starts to hear noises in the woods and assumes it's Carlos playing a prank on her. She immediately runs into Frankie, or should I say he runs into her, literally. He's telling her right away, "We have to go. That thing is coming." And of course she's like, "What thing? What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right. Nobody believes him, you know.
Right.
I like he's talking to her. "Listen to me, you stupid bitch." He is the only smart one in the movie so far, and this is where I kind of realized I think Frankie's the fucking star, man.
Yeah, there's a naivety there, but there's also like he gets frustrated having to explain it again and again to people. But I mean, like, dude, she hasn't seen any of this. Of course she doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
But like he explains, it's a cracked out raccoon. It killed Denny. She thinks it's some sort of YouTube prank, so she's looking around for cameras.
Right.
She goes, you got to get some better material. And that's when he throws back a real fucking stiff. Listen, you stupid bitch. I don't care if you believe me. I'm getting out of here. She's like, all right. You don't have to get nasty. And we hear a bit of raccoon chatter, and Frankie freaks out. He tries to pull Finn, and she's like, oh my God, get off me. And he's had enough. He goes, look, you stupid twat. You can just stay here and get that pussy shredded up. I promise.
But not mine, honey.
Don't mind if I do. And he goes, yeah, you can get your pussy shredded up, but not mine. No, sir. And he runs off. We get another nice panoramic shot of the mountains before heading over to Gardenier Overlook in Monongahela National Forest. Nice accidental Shining reference there, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Overlook. Some random dude runs into a restroom, farting the whole way, and we just hear the sounds of him being attacked in the distance, and it kind of just cuts away from
like
that.
A blood-curdling scream from
Just
inside the bathroom. I love it.
Another totally random victim we haven't seen yet just happens to run into the bathroom where the raccoon happens to be.
A lot of farts in this movie.
There's so many fucking farts, man. It's ridiculous. But back to the park ranger office. Marla is on the phone again, and I'm assuming it's Patty. She goes, I saw an evil gnome roaming the aisles of Bose Hardware. And Marla says, no, you didn't. Well, not me personally, but a guy I know. No, she says, it's not a gnome. His name is Nicholas, and he's not coming to get you. He's a dwarf. Her pronunciation on that was wild. He's a dwarf.
I like the voice coming out of the phone here. It's
oh my God.
Fucking ridiculous.
The ADR is fucking phenomenal. It's definitely a grown man doing a lady voice.
Right.
And he's like, tell Jonathan to get down here right away. I'm in grave danger.
Yeah.
Marla just fucking ignores it though, dude. She just goes on about her business.
Why did that sound like fucking Paul Bearer?
Oh, no. Yeah. Please get down here. It's grave danger.
Danger, Undertaker.
I wish I could translate somehow via podcast the fact that I'm like shaking my head like he used to. You know? So Marla gets another call immediately after she hangs up the phone from someone named Mr. Roberts saying, Bigfoot planting his seed in my sweet Susie. What the fuck is with these people, man? She says, how many times do I have to tell you, Bigfoot isn't real and he did not impregnate your daughter. That was Joey from the diner.
Right.
We cut to another couple trying to set up camp on the lakeside. This is Alan and Sheila. And Alan says, this looks like a good spot. And Sheila's not fucking having it, dude. She's like, whatever you say, man.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
He's like, what the fuck is your problem? You've been acting like this since we got here. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe because I wanted to go to Florida or somewhere nice for a vacation. And instead we're in the middle of nowhere. Listen, sweetheart. Some people would take that any day over goddamn Florida.
Right. She's mad she ain't at the beach.
Right.
And she's a bitch.
He goes, we've been over this. We couldn't afford to go somewhere like that. And she says, well, maybe if you got a real job. And he's like, bitch,
yeah.
A hot dog vendor is a real job.
That's true.
I mean, yeah. It is. I can't imagine it pays much.
He's his own boss.
She goes, I should have left you for the paper boy. He probably makes more money.
Ouch.
He says, well, at least I have a job. You sit around on your ass watching TV. Too bad we don't get paid for that. We'd be billionaires.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
So, like, did she originally think that he could provide for their house with a job as a hot dog boy? Like, it sounds like they're both making terrible life choices is my point.
Don't say hot dog boy.
You don't say hot dog boy. He goes, it's not that bad. We could go hiking or fishing. She's like, fuck you. I hate hiking and fishing.
Yep.
He says, all right, what about bird watching? I think I saw a tufted titmouse over there. She goes, oh, good, because that's the only tit you're going to be seeing this weekend.
Damn.
Got him. And he goes, fine, fuck. How about lunch? Maybe some orange chicken?
No, some fucking hot dogs,
He goes,
bro.
I was thinking hot dogs. He goes, they're nice over an open campfire. I agree with that. Hell yeah. Like, hear me out. Hot dogs are kind of garbage to have at home. Unless you grill them or you roast them over a fire. I'm not sure what happens, like what sort of transformation takes place through the fire. But damn, are they good like that?
Yeah, way better.
But also, that being said, I'm sure they already have hot dogs way too much. He probably brings them home every night from a long day at the hot dog store.
Yeah, I think that was the whole thing is, oh, A nice vacation from our normal life.
Oh, guess what? More fucking hot dogs. Great.
Like dags.
She goes, yeah, well, we might as well eat them because you sure as hell can't sell them.
Fuck, man. The burns.
He leaves to get firewood, and she says, good, take your time. When he walks away, she says, maybe he'll fall into a sinkhole or something this weekend. While he simultaneously says, maybe she'll get eaten by a bear or something this weekend.
Oh, don't worry.
Just fucking end it, guys. This clearly isn't working out.
Crackcoon will get her.
So just then we get a shaky bush and some more raccoon chatter. Alan goes to investigate, and he sees Rico hanging out there. And he goes, hey, little guy, what are you, a bunny? What the fuck? What are you, an idiot? Do you have any idea what raccoons and bunnies look like? There's a huge and very obvious difference.
Hey, both very cute, Dusty.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying a raccoon does not a bunny make.
Turns out he just wanted to get his intestines eaten by Crackcoon again. So here we are. Sick blood spray.
Oh, yeah.
Sick intestines again.
Honestly, I think maybe the best kill of the movie, possibly. In the running for sure. So far, anyway.
Yeah, they get better.
This raccoon's tearing the flesh off, and it's like slapping against its own face. There's more blood spraying, of course. We cut to Sheila sleeping next to the lake in a camp chair. And then Rico fucking slinks up next to her all stealthily.
Dude, CGI raccoon.
It's fucking hilarious. You can clearly see the CGI. Like, it's tiptoeing to stay quiet.
Right.
But yeah, in this particular image, it's actually amazing how many iterations of this raccoon we see. Starting with the stop motion, then there's apparently possibly a guy in a suit, then a shitty puppet, a couple of variations of that, and now just straight up CGI. But
it's all good.
That also happens to be the most realistic shot of a raccoon we get in the whole thing.
Yeah, dude, I like it. He kind of crawls up into her fucking lap here, and she wakes up from the fucking smell.
Yeah, dude, he climbs up to fucking cuddle with Sheila. She's dreaming, thinking it's a kitty.
Yeah, aww.
And she realizes it smells terrible, probably having to do with all that blood and viscera on it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then it bites her finger, she freaks out, falls over, and dies in her camp chair, lying on her back, and Rico fucking slinks away again.
Right. More blood spray.
Oh, yeah.
Another great scene. CGI raccoon walking away,
There are 0 kills without blood spray in this movie. We cut to Jonathan stumbling upon the scene of Jethro and Lenny laying there dead, and he calls Marla and tells her to get the sheriff down here.
Bizarre hunting accident?
Yeah.
I think not, but possibly.
And he goes, once you get done with that, call old Patty Emmons up and tell her Jethro won't be coming home for dinner.
That's fucking rude.
He also decides to call Charlotte and tells her he's going to be late tonight. And he goes, go ahead and put my dinner in the fridge.
Oh, wow.
Cut to Charlotte. She's finally painting a picture of a fucking hot dog.
With a fucking halo.
If you can believe it. She's painting a fucking hot dog.
I mean, we like dogs.
Yeah, but when I imagine she was talking about painting earlier, I did not fucking expect that.
You expected the Mona Lisa, huh?
Maybe not that, but certainly not just a fucking hot dog. What grade does she teach?
The hot dog was right on cue from everything I've seen from the movie so far.
So she listens to the voicemail that Jonathan just left her saying that he'll be late and immediately gets on the phone with her boyfriend, Liam. She goes, why don't you come over in an hour and then you can come as many times as you want. I'm super horny.
Fucking nice, dude.
Wow. God,
hell yeah.
Damn it, you skank. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
As many times as you want. I'm moving in.
I'm good with like 3. I don't know.
13.
She stands up and she's just fucking feeling herself. I don't blame her. I imagine feeling her is pretty nice. She's super fucking hot. But we cut back to Frankie stumbling upon the house of college kids. And he says, thank you, God. I just want to say I am so sorry for all the shit I've done over the years. Well, half of the shit anyway. I might even consider going to church on Sunday, but don't expect it to be a regular thing. The 2 of us walking into church might be a fire hazard.
Well, he immediately backtracks on this. And
yeah.
You know what? Fuck you, God.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything about this.
Never
I'm down
mind.
here running from this fucking Crackcoon.
I got myself out of this. You didn't do shit.
Right.
I'm running from the trash can panda while you were up there on cloud 9 eating your holy popcorn and watching a fucking show.
Yeah.
Lord and Savior my ass. God damn.
Agreed.
But just then Rico shows up again and immediately Frankie is like, okay, I'm sorry, God. Are you still there? He doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do. This script is really funny, I have to say.
Yeah, I like it, yeah. We get more Crackcoon POV and a quick kill on Frankie here. And
apparently
kind of fucking got me, you know? I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Sole survivor, right?
Expected him to stick around, but yeah, it looks like he goes down right here.
Mm-hmm.
The raccoon launches himself at him and he falls down, but we don't see it kill him. So Personally, I assumed he was going to still be kicking since we didn't see like a graphic up close, like confirmation on death. But we get in another nice drone shot over the forest, but with ominous music over it now. That's another thing. The score and the cinematography, once again, really well done in this, mostly. Jonathan stumbles upon Alan's body and calls Marla back, immediately finds Sheila as well. He says with Alan's body, it might be a bear attack, but when he finds Sheila, he also finds a bunch of raccoon tracks. And he's like, a coon? It can't be. Pretty hilarious that after every single body he finds, he has to make another call to Marla.
Right. Gotta check in, man.
I feel like he should probably make a move on Marla because it ain't happening with Charlotte. But yeah, he tells Marla, I think we're dealing with a rabid coon. Oof, take two. And to confirm my discontent with that, that's the joke, unfortunately. He says, what? No, Marla, an actual raccoon. Do I need to send you to sensitivity training again?
Jesus Christ, man.
Back to the office, Marla's on the phone again, and some guy's telling her, a nasty raccoon is violently humping Ellie Mae. All right, so there's definitely a Beverly Hillbillies theme going on.
Right.
We cut back to the house with Carlos and Natasha having the shittiest, fakest movie sex I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, this was probably my only complaint in the movie. Like, what in the fuck is happening here, man?
It's honestly the worst, and I never thought I'd say that about a scene with a naked lady on the screen. But she's naked on all fours on the bed. He's behind her with a fistful of hair, but he's standing at least a foot behind her, and he still has his underwear on.
Right.
I understand that you have to stage these things, and sex isn't actually happening, guys. Spoiler alert. But it was like, you guys didn't even try on this one, man.
Somebody must have been uncomfortable, and I get that. But yeah, it just
certainly
ruined.
It's up to the discretion of whoever's in the scene, of course.
It ruined the fucking scene, though, for sure.
It took me out of it.
This is the only
just really
part
took
of the
me out
movie
of it.
where I was just kind of like, it almost...
In a movie that you wonder how much you're ever actually in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it does draw you in because of how fun it is, but you're also, in the back of your mind constantly, you're always like, wow, this is kind of a shitty movie. You know what I mean? And once again, it's supposed to be. This movie absolutely does its job. I'm not complaining about that. I knew what I was getting into before I did, but, I don't know. I feel like they could have fucking tried a little harder on this one.
Yeah, it's just too much, especially with the line that it was writing with the other, the gore and the nudity, coming up to something like this where we know it ain't real, but
go for it a little harder, since that's what you've done with everything else in this movie so far. Like, there are certain things, if you didn't want to be nude, like they have like I think they call it a modesty sock or something like that you can
it's
just
all kinds of shit. I mean, maybe even skip the scene, you know what I mean? Maybe they shouldn't have had a fuck scene.
They kind of had to have the fuck scene for the setup of her kill.
That's true, but I mean, it just didn't feel real.
It was super disingenuous, and like I said, it took me out of it. But Carlos is staring at himself in the mirror and flexing like a douchebag. What is it with people in horror movies admiring themselves during sex instead of being invested in what they're doing? American Psycho is a little more understandable, but like it's happened in plenty of movies. Like, he also makes a weird noise here and says, yeah, baby, take that centaur cock. What the fuck is that about? Of course, my horse.
Yeah.
He starts a countdown and says 3, 2, 1, and you think he's about to come, but he goes, time to pee. Fucking what, man?
Yeah. What the hell are you doing, man?
She's like, what are you talking about? Fucking totally ruined the mood. He goes, I got to race like a piss horse. What's with this dude and horses, man?
Well,
he goes, listen, give me a minute. I'll be back to finish up. And she tells him, open a window because it's hotter than the third circle of hell in here. And he does that and leaves. And we already know fucking old Rico is right outside attacking Frankie.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Dun, dun.
He fucking peeks in, sneaks in the window.
Yeah,
and then under the fucking sheet.
Well, fucking Carlos walks out of the room. Natasha sighs and says, thank God he's pretty. Is he? I don't know. He looked pretty run-of-the-mill to me.
Disagree.
But of course, right on cue, the raccoon crawls in through the window and climbs into bed with her. And it's so fucking funny watching them toss this fucking raccoon puppet in through the window. And it just thuds on the floor, It crawls up between her legs and starts munching.
Yeah, right. What the fuck?
Sounds like you might have a better relationship with the raccoon than Carlos. I don't know. She says, oh my God, Carlos, I thought you didn't do that. And she's moaning and calling his name, at which point he walks back into the room and he's like, what the fuck? She lifts up the sheet to see the raccoon and freaks out. But then Rico just dives back in for more and Natasha starts screaming. Out in the living room, Denise says to Aiden, why don't you make me scream like that? No, dude. Someone is clearly being murdered. Those are not pleasure screams. But we cut back into the room, and this is a great scene where Natasha is stuck somewhere between pleasure and pain.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a job for Pinhead. He's still munching on her, and she's flailing around, still kind of enjoying it from the sounds of things and like her body language a little bit.
Right.
But blood is also shooting out of her mouth, so hard to tell where she's at right now.
Yeah, fantastic. Great shots again.
Yeah, I honestly, this was probably one of the more striking sequences.
Right.
There's a quick shot of a little sign on the nightstand that says, "I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry." Gets covered in blood. And Carlos is certainly surprised by what he's seeing, but he just kind of stands there until he also gets attacked.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. He's in shock.
Yeah. I don't understand, though. That's just not how I operate. I get that. But back in the living room, Aiden says, "Wait a minute. What about that one night at the hotel before Pop's funeral? I made you scream then." And Denise goes, "Well, yeah, but that was because you were drunk and you put it in my asshole."
Right.
She goes, "Don't you remember me walking funny for 3 days? I had to sit on a bag of frozen peas." Meanwhile, Carlos is getting his face torn off, and we get some cool raccoon vision of that. And Carlos's last words are, "Jeepers creepers, he ate my papers."
Yeah, and his eyes are gone. You know, it almost...
I would have expected, "Oh, fuck." Last words, you know? Aiden says to Denise, because, you know, now he hears Carlos screaming in there. He goes, "Why don't you make me scream like that?"
Hey, touche.
And she's like, "All right, well, maybe I'll shove something up your ass." Denise goes, "I'm going to go take a shower." Aiden goes, "Oh, cool, I'll join you." She's like, "Nah, dog, I'm good." And he's like, "That's fine. I feel a shit brewing in his turtleneck in a little bit."
Yeah,
Woof.
ew.
They have a weird conversation about why he can't shit in the same bathroom she's taking a shower in. Wow, dude. And
yep, get it.
she walks away and he says, "I love you, even though you don't want to smell my shit." He farts and runs off to the bathroom. Back to the park ranger office. Marla's on the phone yet again. That's all she's really here for. Somebody else is telling her a cracked out raccoon is killing people on the mountain, and she doesn't believe them. Wait a minute, didn't Jonathan already tell her the same thing?
Right.
She's like, "I don't get paid enough for this." We cut to Aiden taking a shit. He's watching a silly video and talking to it for some reason. And now we got a real problem.
No TP.
And he calls out to Denise and everyone else, but obviously no one's answering. Couple of gratuitous close-ups of Denise in the shower, of course. And Aiden just stands up and pulls his pants up over his shit-covered cheeks to look for toilet paper. But the raccoon sneaks up on him and fucking bites his neck and then stuffs his head into the toilet?
Yeah,
What?
dude. Yeah, he dunks his head into the shitty toilet. Yeah. Strong raccoon.
Amazing.
Dude, he pulls his head out and there's a fucking turd in his mouth.
We get a toilet cam shot of the raccoon celebrating his victory. And then we cut to Denise, who yells out for Aiden, saying she needs a towel. "Oh, not so funny now that the shoe's on the other foot, huh?"
Right.
And she goes, "I need a towel. I got soap in my eye." Wait a second. What does that have to do with the towel? Rinse that shit out. Also, the shower's still running, so what the fuck?
Turns out she's fucking next. Crackcoon has jumped up onto the toilet, onto the top of the shower.
Well, first of all, he fucking, like, from the toilet to the towel rack, that clearly has a towel on it. So what the fuck is she talking about? "I need a towel." Fucking grab it then. It's right there.
She didn't see it, Dusty, okay?
Yeah, it's because there's soap in her eye because she doesn't rinse her fucking eyes out. The raccoon jumps up on the shower rod, and we think he's about to jump down on top of her. She turns the shower off and flings the curtain open, throwing the fucking raccoon across the room. He jumps at her, wraps her up in the shower curtain, bites and scratches her all to hell, and she gives a really great, shaky leg death rattle, which is also different from a feet dangle jump scare. But I think she sold this really fucking well.
Oh, it's good, dude. He bites her tongue off, too. Very cool.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
More guts. Bloody bathtub.
We go back to Finn for a minute, walking on her own through the forest. She finds Frankie laying unconscious on the ground outside the house and thinks he's dead. She pokes him with a stick, and that wakes him up. And
it's fucking hilarious. It's like, "Don't poke me."
Yeah, he goes, "I'm not the Pillsbury Doughboy."
Right.
I don't know how this dude made it out with his life. Everybody else that raccoon touched is dead meat immediately.
Oh, yeah.
But here we are. She pokes him. He comes back to life. Finn goes, "Holy shit, you're alive."
You fall into a wood chipper?
He goes, "Yeah, Steve, you wonder. I am sitting here talking to you." And she goes, "Yeah, what happened? You fall into a wood chipper?" He goes, "Yeah, obviously. What does it look like?" "I was attacked by that damn cracked out raccoon again." She's like, all right. "Where is this killer raccoon then?" He goes, "I don't know, but we have to call someone." She goes, "Who?" He goes, "I don't know. The cops, animal control, Ghostbusters. You ask a lot of fucking questions. Just give me your phone."
Right. So Finn doesn't have a fucking phone.
She tells him she's never had a cell phone and never will.
He calls her Little House on the Prairie.
And Frankie goes, ew, why the hell not? Like, what if you have an emergency or something? She goes, I don't know, I never have. Well, you fucking have one now.
Right. Something happening.
He asks if there's a landline inside and mentions, listen, the raccoon will find you first. He can smell your pheromones. He tries to start walking but falls down immediately. She helps him up and they introduce themselves finally. And he goes, Finn, isn't that a guy's name? She goes, funny. I thought Frankie was a guy's name too.
Right. Burn.
We cut to Jonathan pulling up at the house. He sees Frankie and Finn and asks if everything is okay. Frankie's annoyed. He has to explain everything again. And he says, I should really write a book about this. He explains about the raccoon. Jonathan says, damn, I was afraid of that. There are 4 dead bodies up in the woods. Buddy, there's a lot more than that.
Thanks, Dick Tracy.
He says they all look like they were attacked by animals. And he says he came to warn them. And Frankie goes, yeah, thanks, but you're a little late. He already killed my boyfriend and then he used me as his personal chew toy. I hate being sloppy seconds. And Jonathan has a moment where he's acting like the homophobic cop from earlier for a second, or at least I thought. And he goes, wait a minute, he killed your boyfriend?
Right.
Jesus, man, I thought it was 2025. Maybe it's still 1983 in West Virginia.
I guess so.
Frankie goes, yeah, do you have a problem with that, Officer Dewey?
Yeah.
Nice little scream rough real quick. There's a bunch of random horror movie references all throughout this.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan tells Finn to go get her friends out of the house. We all got to get out of here. Frankie explains to Jonathan that the raccoon is on a bunch of crack, and he goes through a bunch of slang terms for it when we hear Finn scream from inside. And Jonathan has a new issue now. He's like, wait a second. How do you know he got into crack?
Right.
Well, see, what had happened was... And Finn runs back out doing some terrible cry acting. She goes, they're all dead. And Jonathan asks if it's still inside. She says, well, I don't fucking know. Frankie goes, all right, I'm calling it. Let's just let that be one of life's mysteries. I really need a fucking doctor here.
Right. It's getting infected.
Right. Jonathan says, okay, I'll drive you to the hospital, but we just need to make one stop to check on my wife.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. Cut to Charlotte taking an extremely gratuitous shower. This camera is lingering like a motherfucker on her. Lots of long shots while she plays to the camera by wringing out a soapy rag on her tits and really rubbing around sensually and groping herself, fucking taking her time with it, and so is the cameraman. I think the shower lasts about 1.5 minutes, which is some serious screen time for a shower.
I'm feeling it, dude. It's good.
I mean, I wasn't complaining necessarily, but it was very fucking intentional. This must be the movie's big scene, you know?
Right.
Meanwhile, Liam pulls up out front and he gets out of his car with a friggin' lab coat on. Why are you wearing that, dude?
Just got off work as doc, dude.
I mean, okay, but don't you keep that at the office?
Maybe.
I would think so. You're not taking that in a
doctor.
fucking car with you. Come on.
You look like a doctor, Dusty.
I mean, no judgment here. You
The
look
obvious
like whatever
answer
you
is
want
no.
to do.
I am not a doctor.
I know you to not be a doctor, so that's not a fair question. You look like my buddy Jason.
Well, I'm here with my lab coat, and I'm here to take your temperature.
Dude, he walks into the house, takes off the coat. Hey, baby, your doctor of love has arrived, and I'm ready to take your temperature rectally.
Yeah.
And he makes the little fucking finger through the hole gesture. You know?
Right.
And of course, he leaves the door open, and the raccoon sneaks in behind him. There's a hilarious shot of the raccoon sneaking up behind him, like slowly wrapping his little raccoon arms around him.
Right.
We cut back to Charlotte in the shower, and we're hearing Liam screaming in the distance, but she doesn't seem to notice at first. She finally hears something and calls out for Liam, but no answer, obviously. We cut back and forth between the shower, still holding on long shots of her soaping herself up.
Did you notice that she didn't wash her legs here, Dusty?
Wait a minute, are you supposed to wash your legs in the shower? Doesn't the soap just run down? Isn't that how that works? She hears something and calls out for Liam. We cut back and forth. And when we see Liam, he has this crazy prosthetic on his back that's just blood and meat and exposed rib cage. It looks pretty silly.
Oh, hell yeah. It's got it's like almost a spine or something, too. Yeah. It's kind of funny looking. Pretty cool, though.
His corpse farts, of course.
Yeah.
So many fucking farts in this movie.
It's corpse farts, and Charlotte sticks her head out because she heard something.
Yeah,
and then,
that's what she fucking hears.
And then sniffs the air. Did you bring chili dogs? Back with the fucking hot dogs
Liam,
again,
I smell something. She gets out of the shower and goes to pretty herself up. Funny enough, sitting in front of her on her vanity table or whatever is a big teddy bear with a park ranger hat on. and it clearly has some white powder on its nose, obviously a Cocaine Bear reference.
Oh, yeah, man.
And she's just sitting there with her tits out, spraying herself with perfume. Smells just like roses.
Yeah.
She just admires herself putting on lipstick and says, "You missed your calling, baby. You're a knockout. You should have been a model." I mean, she's not wrong. She puts on some silk stockings and hears some raccoon chatter outside, calls out to Liam again. And that's got to be disappointing for Jonathan, I realized in this moment. When he walks back in, the first thing he sees is Liam's dead body. Oh, I knew it, that cheating bitch. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's got to be what's going through his head.
Mm-hmm.
She walks out to see the raccoon chewing on Liam's back and freaks out. She runs into the kitchen, but doesn't fucking grab anything to defend herself.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, she's getting what she's got coming to her.
It goes for her tits, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude. The raccoon fucking chases her down and attacks, shreds her up, fucking ends up tearing off a tit.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
It's a decapitation. Decapitation. And she screams out, "My tits!
Yeah.
They were perfect and you ruined them."
Fucking asshole.
Yes, they were, and yes, he did. Jonathan pulls up out front and says, "God damn it, Charlotte, again?" And Finn asks what's wrong, and he says, "Well, it's nothing for you to worry about. My marriage is just disintegrating, that's all."
Mm-hmm.
And he gets out and runs into the house. Frankie calls out, "Okay, you just take your time. I'll just stay here and bleed to death. No worries."
Right.
Finn says, "I wonder what that was about." Frankie says, "Well, I don't know, but if I had to guess, I'd say somebody's dipping their chocolate into her peanut butter."
Right.
So-
Stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Frankie goes, "That makes me really want a Reese's." Finn's like, "Man, focus up. We need to get you to a hospital." Jonathan comes in to see Liam's corpse on the floor and Charlotte dead and missing a tit on the kitchen floor. Finn says she wants to check on what's going on inside, and Frankie says, you do not want to get involved with shit like that.
Sure don't.
She leaves anyway, and he says, "How come nobody ever listens to Frankie, bitches?"
Yep, should have, man. Be more people alive.
And inside, Jonathan sees the raccoon over by Liam, and he tries to take a shot as it runs out the door. I really thought this was going to be another accidental death. Like,
oh, yeah.
He just shoots Finn as she walks into the door, and he pops her in the fucking head, but no such luck. They do, however, hear the gunfire from outside, and now the raccoon is running out the front door right for him, you know? Like, that was the direction he was headed anyway. Rico jumps up onto Finn and starts tearing into her. Frankie's no fucking help at all. He's just dancing around, true to his, gay best friend archetype. And Jonathan is shooting toward the raccoon, but thank God he's a terrible shot, because he just shoots his own headlight and then the driveway a couple of times. And Frankie yells out, "Hey, stop shooting. You're going to hit her." All right, but how do we solve this situation then? You're not leaping into action here, Frankie.
Right. Somebody's got to do something.
At least the gunfire seems to scare the raccoon off. And Jonathan says, "That bastard killed my wife, and now it's going to pay." Dude, you found her and her lover dead in your house. You must be a very forgiving and understanding person.
Yeah, what the fuck, Jonathan?
Frankie says, "What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You almost blew her brains out." Jonathan goes, "Okay, but I didn't, did I?" Boom. Mic dropped. He tells them there's more guns in the house. "Why don't you go grab one and help me out?" Finn starts walking toward the house and Frankie stops her, and he keeps calling her Huckleberry, which was fucking making me sad. R.I.P. Val Kilmer. I need to watch that fucking movie again. It's so good. She says she needs to help Jonathan. Frankie says, "No, we don't. Let's just get out of here." She goes, "That thing killed all my friends. It's payback time." And Frankie says, "Okay, Sarah Connor, at least go grab one of his guns first." And that sucked me right back to the fact that we have raccoon vision all over the place in this movie. And I'm just imagining him walking up to a fucking desk at the ranger station. "Hello, I am a friend of Finn. I was told I could find her here." Sunglasses might have helped those orange eyes, you know?
Right.
Finn says, "No, I'm not grabbing a gun. I don't like them." Holy shit. So this is about to be a hand-to-hand raccoon fight?
Yeah,
Fuck yes, let's do this.
Here we go.
Frankie says, "I should have known you were an anti-gun person." She says, "Well, I've got good reason to be. My dad was an abusive alcoholic. One night he was attacking my mom. I grabbed his gun and shot him." Oh shit, that's some serious trauma. All right, you get a pass.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. Okay.
They hear a couple of shots in the distance, and Frankie says, "Okay, let's go help him before he blows his dick off or something." And Jonathan's pacing around with his gun drawn, saying, come out, wherever you are, you little shit." And Frankie finds a hatchet laying on the ground, but he says, "Oh no, this one's defective," not realizing it's still got the rubber guard on it.
Right.
Dumbass.
Yeah, the cover. Yeah.
Just when Finn and Frankie arrive to help Jonathan, the raccoon attacks Frankie again, and he's doing an okay job of holding it off this time. He manages to push it off of him with the hatchet, and the raccoon flies way the fuck up in the air And suddenly Finn is standing there with a shotgun and does a little fucking skeet shooting.
Hell yeah.
Nails it right in the head and blows it off. And of course, once again, a fucking ridiculous amount of blood sprays on her and Frankie.
Yeah.
And Frankie says, well, if I didn't have rabies before, I definitely do now.
Right. Thinking about this whole movie. Everybody's got fucking rabies.
Well, not if the raccoon's not rabid, right?
Eat rabid. Eat rabid.
We cut to a close-up of the mangled raccoon. Jonathan holsters his gun again. Finn walks up to Frank and he says, holy shit, Huckleberry, nice shot. And Jonathan goes, where'd you learn to shoot like that? And Finn's like, oh, I'm just a natural, I guess.
Right.
Frankie goes, can you do me a favor? Please take us to the hospital. Look at us. You look like fucking Carrie right now.
Yeah.
I think Frankie is the fucking best in this movie. Like, every single line he delivered, he ends up accidentally carrying the movie, like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a surprise main protagonist.
Yeah, we get a final line here. It was one hell of a shot.
Right.
Everybody walks away, and we get some credits rolling.
We wrap it up with some uplifting music as
I was
they
gonna
walk
say,
away.
it's very like good feeling at the ending here.
Yeah, we kind of fade to black, and yeah, there you have it, man. Movie over. We do get a cool, rockin' Crackcoon Kills song to take us out, performed by the Transylvania Hellhounds. That's a fun band name.
Nice, okay.
We do get a mention later that no raccoons were harmed during the making of this film. Okay, that's good. Because there were no fucking real raccoons. At the tail end of the credits, we get a tiny bit of raccoon chatter for funsies. But yeah, man, we did it. What'd you think?
Great movie. Great fucking movie. So much better than I expected. Like I said, I really try to stay away from some of these animal whatever movies. And dude, fantastic.
Hey, you're not really a creature feature guy.
Not too much, no. And dude,
this is like on the border between creature feature and slasher, sort of.
Yeah, I liked fucking everything about this movie other than God, what the fuck was his name?
Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos. Didn't like Carlos. Other than that,
their
dude,
sex
pretty
scene
good.
was ridiculous. Yeah,
I was fucking laughing my ass off.
Man.
I liked it all. I really did.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a silly B movie that again will not be in contention for any Academy Awards, but that's not really what we're here for. I don't think anyone sought to create this movie for anything besides silly, crazy fun.
Right.
And that's exactly what we get. I mean, I feel like there's some unnecessary language in here with the use of that, the N and F words. I won't say it again. I'm sorry for saying it earlier, everybody. But, the one was used in a joke that I thought landed because it was used by a gay character talking to another gay character. It felt natural, so I'm okay with that. We definitely don't need any white people casually dropping an N-bomb, though. I'm sorry. That being said, that's kind of what you're in for in a clearly intentionally over-the-top movie like this, though, which I said is bordering on exploitation film, honestly. So we do get the raunchiest of raunch, and that's kind of what everybody signs up for. And seeing these things that you can't see elsewhere, like that's what the indie circuit is for, and I think it's important to keep that creativity going and the fire lit that inspires people to keep making them, because we can do things here that you can't get away with in other places, and that's just kind of what you need sometimes,
Yeah.
I think that there's plenty that makes this movie bad. Terrible melodramatic acting. There's some subpar shots here and there. Content that goes slightly too far. And of course, a super silly story that's very far-fetched. But here's the thing. I think there's also plenty that showcases true talent in this movie. Again, the cinematographer, that aspect was really shining in a lot of this. I think the score was absolutely perfect, so good on those two guys. The gore was a little bit fakey, silly, but they definitely went for it, and I think the makeup and effects were mostly really good.
Yeah, good.
The raccoon puppet I struggle with, obviously just a fake stuffed raccoon in a lot of this, that people were just holding up to their necks to get the shot, And then there's the CGI, of course, not the greatest representation of the raccoon. But again, super low budget. We're just here to have a good time, and as far as I'm concerned, we definitely achieved that. I really enjoyed watching this movie. No matter how bad, quote unquote bad it is, it was still a lot of fun. And that's another thing, that the script I thought was pretty dang good. Some lines fall flat here and there, but overall I thought it was super funny, and yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, dude. 8 out of 10 orange crack sacks.
Ooh,
it's up there for me.
Man. Okay, so I was kind of being pragmatic and objective about this, trying to see where on the scale of movies in general this might fall. So I gave this 3.5 out of 10 ripped off tits.
It's the worst part. Leave them titties attached.
Yeah, I mean, takeaways for this, let's see. Terrible but fun, and boobies.
Yeah, shit, yeah. Titties. Titties and blood is what I'm here for.
I would say if you're someone that enjoys over-the-top humor and gore, you're going to have a great time with this. Just don't go into it expecting a blockbuster masterpiece, you know?
Right.
But there's definitely a place for this in the horror world, and for me personally, I found it enjoyable.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We had a good time. We hope you did too, as always, and we'll catch you on the flip side, y'all. Until next time, remember, dreams are fleeting. Only nightmares last forever. Follow your nightmares.
Boy.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
I bid you welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Cenobites Podcast. If you like what you heard, follow us on our socials at Cenobites Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. It really goes a long way in helping us reach more listeners.
You can stream the Cenobites on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and many more popular streaming platforms and YouTube.
Questions or comments? Suggestions for future episodes? Contact us at cenobitespod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show and help us make it a better product for you, subscribe at cenobitespod.buzzsprout.com.
Until next time, keep following those nightmares. People can't deal with me if they're not drinking.